I think we have Rachel. Are you ready to introduce Allie? Is Rachel still in here? So Allie Sharp is the person that I have relied on when it comes to accessibility for a few years now. She has served as the chair for the Cole Accessibility Committee. Oh, hang on, let me restart the recording. Oh, no, now it's going.
I
Sorry.
have it recording. You're good.
Okay, thanks. Allie works at Langston University, and I don't have your title in front of me. I'll let you share that in a minute. Her presentation title is Preparing the Student to Create Accessible Content. And Allie, I'll let you get started.
Let me unmute and I will share. Thank you. So I am sharing my screen and we should all see it now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So what you are seeing right now is beautiful Langston University, which is where I teach. And so my screen tells you this is teaching the student to create accessible content. I'm Allie Sharp, and thank you for the lovely introduction, Crystal. And I am at Langston. So if you would ever like to see this beautiful library and view, come on up and visit, and we will do it. You'll get the tour. Captions, you will notice, are at the top of the screen right now because I have turned on PowerPoint's live automatic captions, which Christina mentioned. So if you notice errors, please forgive them. They are automatically generated. I would like you to know how you can turn on closed captions. You just need to click on Show Captions on your computer. You may need to press More, and then you can choose your language and choose transcripts. If you are on a mobile device, it is the letters that say CC. And this image is one I share with many people so that you can use this in your own presentations. And I have one that can be used for Teams as well. So email me if you ever need those, but it is in the presentation. So here's something I am trying. You are able to follow along with this on your own device through PowerPoint Live. This is one of those solutions to when you have guest speakers or when you have students, instead of worrying about them having to set up captions and things like that, everyone can follow along on their device, or even just having PowerPoint with the captions the way you're seeing on the screen. On the next screen, you are going to see a QR code. If you would like to join in, and you certainly do not need to, you will point your mobile device at the QR code. It will allow you to move backwards into the slides. You can't see anything I haven't shown yet, but you can see the past. You can turn on captions and subtitles, and you can watch and hear videos through your own device. This is very easy as a viewer, but it does take some work to set up as a presenter. Actually, it would be a great OKLIS presentation. But this is one of those ways that if you have a guest speaker live in your classroom, they can, even if they don't actually have like a long PowerPoint, even having one slide up, as you can see, is giving a live automatic transcript. If you want to play along, you can scan that QR code by holding up your phone, or you could type in the code ppt.ms/ I guess, WEVXX4P. That's a good example of when you do want to have the URL visible, because people need to type it in, or they can try the QR code. And then I will, I say that like I'm gonna, if somebody wants to put that code in the chat, we could do that as well. But you'll see it at the top of my screen during the whole time. It says follow along at ppt.ms, etc. So here are some quick notes for anyone who wants to give this a try. You have navigation tools at the bottom of, you'll see my slides on your phone screen. You will have navigation tools like a white arrow that will let you move back and forth. You'll have to press the little finger that's holding a circle, and that will turn on the navigation tools so you can pop things out, watch the videos on your own device. You are able to have captions and subtitles translated So if you want to use English or another language, just select English and then choose the other language, and you can see those on your own device. You can also have emoji reactions by pressing the emoji button and putting them in. So there we go, there's a heart, thank you. So even if you are doing this in your classroom, as long as you allow your students to have mobile devices, guest speakers can do this. It may not be perfect, but let's not let perfect be the enemy of good. So the most important thing, by the way, is accessibility checkers. Somehow I feel like I've missed several slides. Maybe you can go back and see. But I feel like I've missed a few slides somehow. All right, anyhow, accessibility checkers are the most important things. If you have, you can find accessibility checkers to review in Microsoft, Adobe, LMS platforms, and they will guide correct formatting. Google does not have a built-in accessibility checker. So when we're talking about accessibility checkers, this slide is a duplicate, so we're going to get to this in a moment, but I think I put it in here because it's the most important thing. And I was thinking like, oh, if anyone's got to leave, the most important thing is to know how to do accessibility checkers. You will always want to do that one thing. Make sure you check it. If that's the one thing you take away from today, is to find your accessibility checkers. So with all that, welcome to my presentation, Teaching the Student to Create Accessible Content. We're going to get started with skills for today and tomorrow. Again, I'm Allie Sharp from Langston University with our very proud lion logo. And that is why I have a computer with a graduation cap and a book. I heard myself, and that felt like I was talking to myself from the future. A little bit about me. I'm Allie Sharp. I am the Director of Faculty Development. I'm an instructional designer, and I'm the co-chair of the COL Accessibility Committee, which I've been so fortunate to be with Pam Louderback, and now I'm with Natasha. So I've always had wonderful co-chairs. My email is sharpa@langston.edu. If anyone wants to put that in the chat, everyone can have it. I also have a podcast. It's a weekly podcast that comes out whenever, sometimes every couple of months. It's called LU Monday Moment, and it is on Apple and Spotify. About my accessibility focus, my experience with ease of access learning tools is that I was a classroom teacher and a technology instructor, mainly with middle school, high school, and college level teaching. I was a business and community tech trainer, both on the corporate level and through career tech. So I've had a background in public school, career tech, and at the university level. I am a Microsoft Innovative Educator and Trainer. I'm a Google Certified Educator and Trainer, but it may not be up to date. And I'm in progress of getting my Canvas Certified Education certificates for design. So about today's session, we're going to talk about teaching students to learn accessible content through learning tools. We will talk, obviously, we've heard a lot about the ADA expectations, and these help us today and tomorrow. That when we're talking about how this is directly from the language of the 508 and ADA, communicating successfully is essential to providing services to the public or doing business, and state and governments, businesses, and nonprofits must make sure they communicate effectively, because people with certain disabilities may communicate in different ways. So our students, we are teaching them to communicate with their fellow peers and with their teachers, but we're also preparing them for possible jobs and businesses that they'll have where they will be expected to do this. Whoa, my screen just went dark for a second. Another thing we'll talk about is how what gets measured gets met, the most important thing, and some common scenarios. So what gets measured gets met. So if you are planning to start incorporating accessibility for your students, here's some ideas. Maybe include language in a rubric or in your instructions, like check accessibility along with content, correct issues, test before you share. Give guidance on easy to read and easy to follow. I often tell people, check for the I, and the capital I and the lowercase L and the letter A to make sure it has two stories. Make sure that those work. Like, we know students lose glasses, forget glasses, break glasses. And so even if it's not something on any given day, people want to have things that are easy to follow. Adam talked about color contrast and headings. We want to make sure that those are available. I often tell people, and what I told my students was, use the templates that are available, because a lot of times those templates from Microsoft and Google, they've already checked the color contrast. In presentations, you want to share what the text says, as I have been doing. For audio, images, and videos, alt text or content, we want to make sure it describes the image. If students don't know how to do alt text, but they still describe it in their essay, presentation, discussion, whatever, that's something. Captions and transcripts, that's helpful. So in presentations, you want to describe images. And if you'll notice, I've done that every stage of the way so far. I introduced Langston's campus. I told you about what you were seeing on the screen, and I explained our lion logo. The accessibility checker is the most important thing. On the screen is a picture of the Canvas accessibility checker, and it has little balloons when everything's good, because we use Canvas. But Google Classroom does not have a built-in accessibility checker. Canvas LMS, D2L, and Blackboard Ally, they do. So those are things to get started with in your own LMS. In terms of accessibility checkers, let's take a look at how that can be done. It is consistent across Microsoft. You will choose the Review tab and check accessibility. You will get inspection results that guide your actions, as Christina explained, and you will see information that explains why. If you're following along on your phone, you can click on the video and it will show you these steps, or we can be watching right here. On my screen, you'll choose Review, and then you will select Check Accessibility, and you will then get a window with possible corrections, what needs to be fixed, and guidance. By the way, this video is from Microsoft. I did not make that. And so when you go through it, it will prompt you on making those corrections. Adobe has a PDF checker as well for the Pro. What I will say about this is that I did write alt text. Even in the Adobe PDF checker, it highlighted that image as not having alt text. As we have discussed, no checker is perfect, but it is a good, it's a good start, and it gives you a report. So if you're wanting to check your students' work, like did they actually do accessibility? If they have a PDF, you could put it in Adobe and go to all tools, prepare for accessibility, check and fix. So on this image, you're seeing my Adobe screen, and it does say that I didn't mark that as alt text, but it does show as alt text because I did it. Outlook also has an accessibility checker. I will go into this more in depth on the 21st when I do the staff one, but under this, it's the only one that doesn't use the Review tab. You go to the Message tab and choose Check Accessibility. So on my screen, you're seeing the Message tab, Check Accessibility, and it will check accessibility for you. So your students can communicate to you and to each other through Outlook email with accessibility. And that's one of those skills that are necessary for work. I did this during today's presentation when somebody was asking about what about Facebook media, and I had been sharing this video. So social media is a common issue for students. So what I recommend is that they screen record that video or download it or whatever, and then they upload it to Microsoft OneDrive and choose transcripts. I timed this when I did it, and it took less than 3 minutes to download this video, which I already had the video, but to upload it into OneDrive, choose transcripts, and then I'll show you another way that students can do it. If they don't know how to make transcripts or automatic captions, they could just write it out. But so I have that on one side. You will be able to see the transcripts in this video. I certainly hope the audio works. So it's a sweet video, and it actually, I love it because it shows how much students care about accessibility as well. That the high school students, one of them has a prom invitation and made it in Braille so that his friend who reads Braille could be invited. Here's another common issue and correction. By the way, I'm not seeing the chat, so if you need to tell me something, just unmute and shout at me. Another common correction. I actually just Googled like homecoming and party invitations. Like I just Googled school homecoming parties. And here's an example because people love to have fun fonts, including me. We can show students how to keep the fun, but just add clarity to signs and posters. So here was the original. And then by adding on the actual poster that would be up on the hallway or up in Canvas or shared on social media, just in a plain text that anyone can read. If they can't read the homecoming party, they can still read it down below on the text. And that will help. I mean, and that also guides people on what alt text to write as well. That's an elegant home party thing. Another common issue and correction is live presentations like what you're seeing. On the left side of my screen, I do have the instructions for PowerPoint Live. So it's just choosing always use subtitles. Overlaid means it's going to cross over the slide. Because we're in Zoom, I chose it to be above the slide, so that way it wouldn't conflict. The default is below slides. Google Slides, which is very common for students to use, has an amazing closed caption tool. This is from Google. When you select present, you just press the caption button, and then there's no audio on this because I knew I'd be talking over it, but you can see the words coming up as the person is reading about Shakespeare's soliloquies. So Google Slides automatic captions are amazing. And again, if you have a speaker, just turn on any Google slide and leave it up and the captions will appear on the screen. You don't need to be changing slides. Another common issue and correction is with work distribution. So Microsoft Word is amazing, and it has something called dictate and transcribe. What this will let you do is someone can actually use a microphone and just talk into the Word document or upload audio and it will transcribe it. And I demonstrated that in one of our presentations that I did, I think 2 years ago when I was talking about the podcast. Baby steps to podcast is what it is, because I use it to get my podcast transcripts. But this is a video from Microsoft.
Allie, just so you know, if there's audio, I don't think you have your sharing set to share video audio.
Oh no, thank you. I will let me get that. Must have been awful with the blind video, with the Braille video. I will just tell you right now what it's saying, and then I'll put the link in for that video later on. So what we're seeing is that when you press the microphone button in Dictate, it will let you type your words online, and then it will let you also have punctuation. So in Microsoft, if you go to Dictate, it looks like a Microsoft. It's all over Microsoft products. On the right side of my screen, you will see the View tab, and then it goes to Immersive Reader. This is the same Immersive Reader that we see in Canvas LMS and in the Edge browser. This will allow students to see documents and have them be read aloud, as well as having focus mode and other tools. And I have shared that in the past. But what I'm talking about using it here is really work distribution, that even if somebody is not able to do a lot of writing, they can still dictate, they can still transcribe. Even somebody who doesn't read text can have it read aloud to them by this computer. So there are some solutions to common issues and corrections. So I am going to have to fix this so that you can read this. So hold on, because I am not sure why my Zoom, what do I need to do with the Zoom to make it so that you can hear the audio?
If you stop the share and start a new one, you can check the boxes to share audio.
I think I just did it. Let's see if I did it because I saw it. So let's see. So when we talk about ease of use and accessible learning, these tools help us be good neighbors. This is one of the early examples of accessibility and part of why we, I think it's part of why it's part of our education community. I'm gonna play this audio and let's see and hope that it plays. It is a picture of Mr. Rogers in his neighborhood house.
Things don't always turn out to be just the way we
It
planned.
is playing, it's just quiet.
But we'll make believe about that another day. Here you are, fish.
So what it is Mr. Rogers feeding his
Things
fish.
don't always turn out to be just the way we planned. But we'll make believe about that another day.
And he's gonna say, there you are, fish. And where he started doing this is a famous story that he had a letter from one of his viewers, and the letter said, "Dear Mr. Rogers, please say when you are feeding your fish because I worry about them. I can't see if you are feeding them, so please say aloud that you are feeding them." And he did. And so the audio being quiet shows you the value of those captions. So now I'm going to go back to that video really quickly of the student with the braille, just so you can see how that works. If I can, look how click happy I am. So just so that you can see that, because if you couldn't hear it before, then now you can. So here we'll go.
Kind of like a Valentine's Day thing, and I want you to just read it. It says it in Braille. Here you go.
Wait, that's a P. And R. O.
And I did that in Microsoft Stream. I could show you how quickly it was to be doing it today. So we are now at the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, and I do have one resource thing to share with you. Here again is Langston's beautiful campus, and there is my email address, sharpe@langston.edu. I have this one. This is not on the PowerPoint. This is going to be on the Zoom screen. I have a page for Langston where I have a lot of resources in our Canvas, and most of them are things that I've just kind of copied. So you are able to, I'm going to put this, I gave this link to Crystala. So I have to share this screen so that you can see it easily and not. So this is what I use when I do training at our campus, that you can see these ease of use tools and you are able to actually try them out. So if you wanted to try Immersive Reader, you can do that. There are some things that would require you to log in with a Langston account, so you won't be able to see those, but you would be able to see a lot of these. And as you're scrolling down, like I talk about how to write alt text, how to check accessibility, how to do video captions. And then I also have a list of training resources for Langston that you may not be able to see, but our external training resources and Oklahoma and US training resources. So with that said, I'm resuming right back to the big fancy one. And then I'm gonna, oh, well, maybe I am. Who knows what I'm gonna get up to here. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and just stop the share and then come on screen and say hello.
Hey, Allie, you didn't share the screen of that course.
I
put the link
didn't?
in. So you're saying you're stopping
Oh.
sharing, but that's why you're not figuring it out.
Oh, I'm not sure. I was never sharing it. Here, there you go. All right, can everyone see it now? Okay.
Yes.
So if you were to go to this, we will close my email. You can try these, but some will not be available to you, but many will be. So if you wanted to try Immersive Reader, you could try it and see how it works. And then you can also contrast that to using it with Read Aloud PDF where you have to right click. You can see checking accessibility. We don't use Google very much, so I don't think I have any Google resources unless somebody asked it. Oh, I do have some because people must have asked about it. But then I also have Oklahoma. Look at that. Here's our OCO. I have some UDL, like what Natasha was talking about, and Able Tech, Section 508 training videos, and the government online training video and websites. And then so when you were to click, if you were to click on one, it would open in a new window. And then this is from the Section 508 training, which I think is absolutely wonderful and useful. So now I'm happy to answer questions, if there are any.
You rock.
Thank you. If we have, let's see, I guess we're right on time, right?
Yep, you did fantastic. Thank you, Allie. You
You
always
are welcome.
interesting new things.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for letting me present.